So before we start discussing this topic, we will check how much you know already, because we have had some training sessions on the same topic, so probably you have some background knowledge. So please take your gadget and be ready to join. So I will send you the link. You know how to do it. So you've told your students so many times how to join Kahoot, so I'm sure you know. By the way, can you hear the music in Kahoot?
No.
Okay. 1 second. Now you will. Do you know that you can change these monsters? So we need 2 more people. Please hurry up. I really like now Nastya's avatar with him. Okay, fine. I guess everybody is in. Yeah, so let's go. If you don't know the answer, try to guess. Okay, so most correct answers: reading and listening. Okay, so let's not comment then. We will discuss it later. Yeah, reading and listening are receptive skills because we receive the information. Oh wow, okay, because we not receive, we produce the information when we speak and write. Good. Okay, Vadim is the leader. Interesting. So what's wrong with the red answer?
Writing is wrong.
Yeah, so writing is not a reading and listening soft skill. Scanning and scheming, so there are different points of view on that. So these are techniques which we use when we read. Like we can also call them sub skills. But yeah, so when we can read, we can listen for gist, for specific information and detailed comprehension, and based on it, so we can use techniques like scanning or scheming, or other ones. Okay, and why? So why is it important to do that?
Like you just need to get the main theme of the topic.
Yeah, so if we don't do it, then they will start reading every word, right? So I'm happy to have all the correct answers. Oh, this one is a little bit tricky, so please be attentive. So why it's more specific information than reading for details? So who gave the correct answer? Can you tell us why you got that?
Because there is a specific country, specific number of countries, and in the end, three people, or what?
Yeah, so names. Exactly. So that's specific. We are looking for some specific information in the text. We don't read the whole text, but we are scanning it, like scanning. Then we see the name of the country, Poland, and we start reading this part. So that's specific information. We're trying to find this specific information. Usually it's about numbers, names, geographical names, dates. So something that can be easily, visibly detected in the text without reading the whole text. So that's specific information then. Clever you are. So maybe then we will discuss reading and listening very quickly because you know a lot. Here detailed. It can be written for specific information. It depends on the content of the sentences for this task itself, but it's very rarely. So usually it's a detailed comprehension because we need to analyze the text. Okay. So waiting for one more person to answer. So what's wrong with that? Let's ask for, I don't know. Marta, let it be for you. What do you not like in this instruction?
They actually don't know what they need to listen for. So maybe a little into this. They maybe you have to go through the questions before the listening, and then say that now we're gonna listen to two friends talk to each other, and try to listen carefully for these things.
You're absolutely right. So the problem, it doesn't matter here which task it is, what the content. Yeah, of course, leading is needed, but we need to give the task before we ask our students to read or to listen to a text. Because if you don't set the task, it's not clear like how they should do it, how they should read the text, whether they read for gist, whether they read for details, whether they look for specific information. And they will use different, so people use different techniques to do these different things. So it won't be effective without the text. We always have the task before reading or before listening. So if we're going to discuss the questions, we give them before. I'm sorry, there are some misprints in the answers. Ignore them. So, right. Is it okay if there are any unknown words in the text? So do our students need to know all words in the text or in the audio to complete the tasks and practice skills?
No, I think.
Maybe who thinks yes, you can argue. Yeah, so actually no, and all text, so in the textbooks, if it's a good learning material, it will be designed in such a way so that there are some unknown words. It's usually done on purpose. So to develop skills, students need to have this unknown word in the text or in the audio tasks. That is absolutely fine. But the difference between just unknown words, which are okay in some proportion, to blocking vocabulary, from blocking vocabulary, is that blocking vocabulary doesn't allow students to complete the task. So maybe this blocking word is in the task itself, or it is in the part of the text which gives the answer to a particular task. Then it is blocking. So the words without which students will not be able to do what you ask them to do. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we know that reading, writing, speaking are not systems, but they are. So we have systems, language systems, we practice systems, and reading, writing, speaking, which are another word beginning with S.
More practical things.
No, we have had this word.
Structures?
No, skills. So we have systems and we have skills. Language skills are reading, writing, speaking. So we develop skills in our lessons and we teach systems. Systems are grammar, vocabulary, functional language. Pronunciation is also often called a system, but we will stick to this differentiation. We will say that grammar, vocabulary, functional language are systems, and we'll discuss them more today. Of course, yes. And so we can say that our students know a particular grammar structure only if they know meaning, form, and pronunciation of it. If at least one aspect is missing, they don't know the structure yet. So not fully. Yeah, all of the above, not only vocabulary. And today, a bit later, I will show you why, because there are so many pronunciation features we can discuss when we talk about grammar. Okay, why not? Help us, please.
Questions have to be more specific, and students can't understand what they have to answer to these.
Yeah, exactly. So if we ask, what does it mean? Can you explain? It might work. So if it's the task is like an alias game or whatever, so that's fine. If it's during the check and understanding stage, it's not really helpful because, okay, let's imagine at least like one student will be able to explain, but what about others? So after this explanation, anyway, we will need to check the understanding. So we will make sure all other students understand as well. And also, yeah, as Vadim said, it's not specific enough. So when we are specific, CCQs will focus on some particular moments, especially speaking about grammar. So we focus our students' attention on some particular important moments. But if we ask, can you explain? They will just tell you what they remember, and you will not help them with more difficult aspects they need to know. Okay. Marta, this right place? Anna. Okay, Sophia, good job. Great. Marta, Sophia, and Anna, congratulations to you and to everybody else. If we were having an offline workshop, I would, yeah, I would have given you some contracts for that. Fine, so let's sum up what we have revised with you. So now I want you to be really, really active and please answer the questions. So what are the language systems? You can put your answers to the chat, or you can raise your hand if you know the answer and want to say it. Or use any reaction. A hint, there are 3 of them. And that's 3 of them. So yeah, Vadim texted a functional language and Darina added grammar and vocabulary. Agree with you. So language systems are grammar, vocabulary, functional language. Also, pronunciation can be included in this list. Fine. So what are receptive skills? Again, your answer is to the chat or raise your hand. Reading and listening, right? And productive skills are?
Speaking and writing.
Yep, right, you are. Because when we read and listen, we receive information, and when we write and speak, we produce information. So producing information is more difficult than receiving it, like for most people, and our task setting will depend on which skill we are practicing. Fine, so let's talk about skills a little bit more. And so what do you think, like in the real life, when you read something, do you always read the same way? So I can see Darina
Not really.
no. Okay. What does it depend on, Marta?
On our goals, maybe.
So for example, would you read fiction literature the same way you would read menu in a cafe or in a restaurant?
No, in different way.
And so that is why we need to teach different reading and listening sub-skills to our students. It's really important to focus on different sub-skills because it's what we actually really use in our life. So we would use a particular sub-skill depending on the situation on our life, and our students will do that using the English language as well. So they need to be prepared to do that. And let's look at the task. Again, you can use the chat, or you can say, or you can raise your hand. Look at this task and let's think which sub-skill is practiced in this task. Is it gist, specific information, or detailed comprehension? Okay, gist. Yeah, so that is reading for gist. Right. So to complete this task, do we need to read every word in this abstract, or can we just do it quickly?
No, we just need to catch the main idea.
Right. So when we read for gist, we get only the general idea, and it's very important that we don't need to read or listen to every word. And to teach our students to do it effectively, we will need to set this very short time limit, because if they have more time, if they have longer time limit, they will start reading every word. Let's look at this one. So which subskill is practiced in this task. Specific, like partially, maybe other ideas.
Maybe detailed comprehension.
That's detailed. Why do you think that it's detailed? Why not specific?
Well, if you have something specific, for example, you have to read about a specific country, so you have to get the main idea of it. So, and about a specific maybe paragraph of a text. But here we have like true or false. We need to know the details. We need to see actually the thing which we need, beside of all of the other facts which we have in the text. So yeah, a lot of details.
Exactly. So that's reading for detailed comprehension, because we need to analyze the text. So probably we will need to find some synonyms. We will need to find some details, some explanation. I agree that probably question 1 and partially number 2 can be also used for specific reading. But yeah, so all other questions are for details, definitely. So when we read or when we listen, so it will be very similar for listening as well. So we read or listen to every word and we need to analyze the text. So we're looking for synonyms, we analyze the information in the text. There might be some paraphrases as well. And the third one, okay, so I guess that's easy, but still give your answer, please. So Anna, why specific? Why do you think so?
Because we have to write specific information, so they have to listen more attentively than true or false because they need like specific words to write. So and they should be exactly like in the text. So that's why it's specific information.
Yes, and if you look at these sentences, what do you think the answers will be? So what will we use in the gaps?
Numbers.
Yeah.
But maybe not the last one. Yeah.
Except let's ignore the last one. But yeah, so we use numbers for all other sentences, and our students need to pay their attention to numbers. Then it will be their focus when they listen. They will listen more for numbers. But if we don't make sure that our students understand that they need to look for numbers, the skill won't be practiced really effectively. So that's nice to mention in the instruction, or to have a pre-task to that and asking our students, like, look at the sentences. Let's think, what information will you use? What will you write in number 1? A number, a name, or a word? What about number 2? Yeah, and if we elicit it from our students, if we are sure that they know that, okay, now we focus on numbers, now we focus on names, then yeah, so you will practice the skill effectively. Fine. So now let's actually do it all together. So let's have a look at some more tasks, and you will, again, put your answers to the chat. The person who first gives the correct answer will get +1 point. So let's, here we have 2 tasks, 3A and 3B. In your answers, please type 3A and the subskill which is practiced, the 3B and the subskill which is practiced. Okay, Darina was the first one to give both correct answers, like for 3A and 3B. 3A, that's gist, right? Because we get just the general idea. 3B, that will be a detail, because they need to listen for details. Good. Let's also take okay. Not this one. Let's take this one. Detailed or specific? This one is detailed. So you didn't put the numbers, so I just don't know who was the first one for this, but good job. Yeah, so that's detailed because they need, for example, if we take the last question, did they figure out how to save up money? So to answer this question, we really need to analyze the text because it won't be said like word by word. Fine, and the last one. Okay, Darina was the first one. I think that Darina wins in this competition. So that's really gist because we I just need to get the general idea. So, and actually in our books, we don't have very many specific reading, specific information, reading and listening tasks, but we have a lot of gist and for detailed comprehension. Fine, thank you. So I think that we can go on because you know a lot on this topic. So we will move to something more challenging. And now, guys, let's revise some grammar with you. Okay. So can you see the board?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So we're going to discuss with you used to. So we will revise it with you. Darina, do you want to write anything? Okay. So it was the topic of the previous lesson. So Bogdana, please tell us, when do we use used to?
So used to, we used to tell about some past actions that was like a habit for us.
Okay. Do you agree with Bogdana?
Yes.
No, Darina. Yes, Anna agrees. Darina. Okay, so let it be. Then, Yulia, can you make a sentence, please, with used to?
I used to draw.
Okay. And Anastasia, Nastya, can you make the sentence negative?
I didn't used to draw.
Okay, so that's nice. We're ready for controlled practice. So was this checking understanding stage effective? So you can use your virtual reactions, like show this if you liked that, that if you did not. I didn't like Darina. I can't get what it means. Probably not good. Okay. So, but then, did you like this checking understanding stage? It was quick. We
No.
saved a lot of time.
I
Why
think
not?
it didn't really make sure that the students understand everything and just was too fast for everybody to get the gist of the topic.
Exactly. So yeah, on the one hand, we saved some time because it was really, really fast. And in many plans, it will be stated, so something like that, not because the plans are bad, but because we need to add something ourselves. So we need to know how we can do it. Now, let's do it once again. So I will show you a picture. So you can see a picture of me. It was taken like many years. I won't tell you how many years ago, but a lot of years ago. And so I traveled to Germany then because my friend used to live there. So I stayed with her for some time, and so that was super fun. You can see that I looked differently then. So because I used to have long hair and my hair used to be blonde, but the situation has changed a little bit. So now let's look at this idea. Hold on a second. Some technical issues. Okay. So now let's look at two sentences about me in the past and about my friend. So I used to have long blonde hair, and she, like my friend, used to live in Germany. So guys, are the sentences about present or about past?
About past.
Okay. So did I have long blonde hair in the past?
Yes.
Yeah, you could see it. But do I have long blonde hair now?
No.
Mm-hmm. So if I tell about my friend, I say, my friend used to live in Germany. So what do you think? Did she live in Germany in the past?
In the past, yeah.
But do you think she lives in Germany now?
No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she is back to Ukraine. So when we use used to, we talk about past, as you said. Do we talk about things which were true in the past?
Yeah.
Yes.
But are the things true now?
No.
Okay. So for example, if in the past I was an English teacher and now I'm an English teacher, can I say about myself, I used to be an English teacher? Will it be correct?
No.
No, Bogdana, why not?
Because it's not true now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. So now let's look here. So do we need to use to after use? Is it important to use to?
Yes.
So what form of the verb do we use? Number 1, 2, or 3?
1.
The
Infinitive.
first form. Yeah. Okay. So is the sentence positive or negative? Question.
Positive.
Can we make a negative? So let's look at the second one. Let's try to make this sentence negative.
She didn't
Nastya,
use to
or
it.
anybody. Okay, so if we use here didn't, do we need to change anything else?
So we don't need ed ending in use.
Okay, now please listen to me. Just listen to me attentively, how I pronounce it. So used to. Do I pronounce ed? Do I say like ed? Or do I skip it? Used to.
Skip it.
So we don't pronounce ed, that's right. So do I say to, or do I say to? Used to. So is it like a long sound here? Is it long, or is it
Short
very,
sound?
very? Okay, now listen to the sentence and say, do I stress used, or do I stress have? I used to have.
Have.
So, and in this sentence, she used to live.
Live.
Okay, now please repeat after me. Used to.
Used to.
Okay, not only
Used
Vadim,
to.
everybody unmute yourselves. Used to.
Used to.
Used to.
Used to. Okay, now repeat after me, but very, very quietly. Used to. Now, very, 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 very slowly. She used to live.
He used to live.
Okay. Now very fast. She used to live in Germany.
She used to live in Germany.
I used to have long blonde hair.
I used to have long
Used to have long hair.
No, faster. That was really bad. I used to have long blonde hair.
I used to have long hair.
No, once again, I used to have.
I used to have.
I used to have long blonde hair.
I used to have
have long
hair.
Okay, now it's better. Now, repeat after me. My friend.
My
So
friend.
repeat after me.
My friend.
My friend used.
My friend.
My friend used.
My friend used to.
My friend.
My friend used to.
My friend used to give.
My friend.
My friend used to
My
give.
friend used to give.
My friend used to give me.
My friend used to
My
give me.
friend used to give me.
My friend used to give me presents.
My friend used
My
to give
friend used to give me present.
Okay, does my friend give me presents now?
No.
Yeah.
Always used to. Okay, fine. So this check and understanding stage, like this variant of it, took a little bit longer, but not that long. It was about 4 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. But is it more effective than the previous one? So which aspects did we work on? So for example, meaning, like what else? What else was included?
pronunciation.
What else?
How to form question and
Grammar.
subjunctive sentence.
Structure.
Okay, so all aspects of MFP, that's meaning, form, and also pronunciation. So when we played Kahoot, there was a question like, when should we drill pronunciation? And a lot of you it shows that only like when we teach grammar or vocabulary, but you can see how important it is to practice pronunciation, teaching grammar as well, because if you don't pay your students attention to how we pronounce used to, they won't do it naturally. They will say used to, they will learn it like that. Yeah, and so it might seem obvious for us because we have more language experience, but it's not obvious for our students. And it works a lot with like other auxiliaries or other parts of grammar structures, because we can pay attention to the intonation, to the stressed words, to linkings. Yeah, because also here we link like used to together. So that's all really important. So we shouldn't ignore that. And let's clean that. And let's look at like some tips, something that can help us do this stage, make this stage more effective. So first of all, it's important to set the context. So we can use visuals, we can create a very short, guys, very short story, just a couple of sentences. It can be a situation, it can be a small video, it can be the setting of our classroom. For example, if we are talking about comparatives, the context for it can be like, I don't know, the students in our group, and we can compare like who has got the longest hair, the shortest, the darkest, and blah, blah, blah. So it will be our context, like the situation itself can be the context. We need to provide the modal sentence. So what was my modal sentence? So actually I had two. So what were my two modal sentences in the example, Yulia?
I used to have long hair. My friend used to live in Germany.
Okay, so it's really important not to ask abstract questions like when do we use used to, when do we use second conditional? Because Bogdana, I'm sure Bogdana knows this topic. She knows when to use used to. But when I just asked her, Bogdana, when to use it, it was a bit challenging to answer, and she didn't give like a fully correct answer to that question. But when there was a modal sentence and CCQs contextualized, so my CCQs were based on my context, then it worked much, much better. So then the next tip is to ask contextualized CCQs. So I didn't ask you just in general. So so at the beginning, yeah, when I gave you modal sentences, I didn't ask you like, look at the sentences and say, do we use used to when we speak about past, or do we use used to when we speak about some situations which were true in the past? But I asked you about CCQs based on the context of the sentences, on the content even of the sentences. Like I asked you about myself, like, did I have long hair in the past? But do I have long hair now? So is it true about me? So when we do it through the context, it's always more effective. and prepare in advance. So it's very difficult to improvise on the spot. Even like the most experienced teachers can very rarely do it really successfully. So it needs preparation. So you need to prepare the context, you need to prepare your model sentences, your CCQs, and the answers to your CCQs, of course. Yeah, and it doesn't take so much time. So it took me like probably like maximum 10 minutes to prepare the stage, because I wanted to put it on my presentation. If I was just going to use a board, I would have prepared it even faster. When you just start trying to write your own CCQs, it might be a bit challenging, but it's a really exciting process. So it's a skill, it's a teaching skill which you can develop if you practice it. Drill all systems, not only vocabulary. And here is like one more example of how it can be done. It's a bit faster to prepare. The topic of the lesson, it's A1 something, A1-2, I guess, don't remember which lesson, but the topic was clothes, and the grammar topic was comparatives. So the context was created with the help of two pictures, so connected to the topic, to the vocabulary topic of the lesson. Then the teacher asked the students to look at these pictures and complete these gaps. And it also works like a CCQ, because if they manage to complete these gaps correctly, we can see that they understand the meaning of comparative. So if they can do it correctly. And then some examples of CCQs. Again, so they are contextualized. So we don't ask just when we use comparative adjectives, do we compare two things or a lot of things? But we ask about this particular situation. Okay, and let's talk, we will practice it a bit later, but let's talk about drilling a little bit more. So do you know who's that? Like any ideas?
It's a cheetah.
Okay, so probably you're a B2 student, if you know this word. So exactly. Okay, so now what do you think? Do cheetahs live in Ukraine?
No, maybe.
Okay, where do they live?
In
Africa.
zoos.
Okay, actually, I don't know.
In
I'm
jungle.
sorry. Yeah, I think so. Okay. Now look at this word. So how many letters E do we have here? Okay.
2.
Yeah, so what's the last letter?
H.
Yeah, please don't forget about it, so it will be a mistake. Now listen to me and say if I pronounce all letters in this word. Cheetah. Cheetah.
No, you
Do I
don't.
pronounce all? Oh, so which one is not pronounced?
The H at the end.
So what about this sound? Is it short or long? Cheetah.
Long.
Long. Okay. Let's show like that. So it means long, like cheetah. Okay, now repeat after me. Cheetah.
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 Yeah, please look at me. So we're smiling when we are saying it. Cheetah.
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 Cheetah. Okay. Now let's say it very, very happily. Cheetah.
Cheetah.
Okay.
Cheetah.
Okay. Now listen to my sentence. Don't repeat it now. Just listen. So a cheetah is big. So now repeat after me. A cheetah is big.
A cheetah
A
is
cheetah
big.
is big.
No,
Cheetah is
Vadim,
big.
Vadim, use friendly. Make us this sentence, but use friendly. So I say a cheetah is big. You say
A cheetah is friendly.
Yulia wild.
A cheetah is wild.
Nastya angry.
A cheetah is angry.
Okay. Now repeat after me. A cheetah.
A cheetah.
A cheetah.
Soy cheetah.
Huh? What was the first word?
Saw a cheetah.
Saw.
Saw a cheetah.
Saw a cheetah.
I saw a cheetah.
I saw
I saw a cheetah.
Dreams, I saw a cheetah.
dreams. I saw a cheetah.
Mhm. In my dreams, I saw a cheetah.
In
In
my
my
dreams,
dreams,
My
I saw a
dreams, I
cheetah.
saw a cheetah.
Okay, guys, can you count how many drilling techniques were used?
3.
Okay, so which ones? Oh, okay, you can describe like what was that, like the process. Vadim, if you're ready, you can do it.
In the first one, we had to add an extra word.
Mhm.
In another one, we just had to say the word. So drill, just drilling. And the
Mhm.
last one,
So did we have to make a sentence? Like to repeat a sentence?
yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. So we will find out the names of these drilling techniques. And even before that, before drilling, so one more technique was used that is actually called highlighting. So highlighting, it's a very, very useful thing when we practice pronunciation. So it's good not only to model the pronunciation and ask our students to repeat, but also it's good to show it visually to them. So highlighting is also very, very useful. So we can highlight, we can show these linkings, stress, pronunciation of some sounds, we can cross out letters which are not pronounced, etc. Good. So now let's find out more about drilling techniques. And you will need to have a look at your worksheet again. Vadim, I'll send the link just in a moment. So we will watch a video in which different drilling techniques will be demonstrated and discussed. Your task is to take notes, note down the name of the technique. You can add some additional comments, like anything what is useful for you. Also, you can put a tick here if you have tried this technique, and a tick here if you haven't tried this technique, but you think it's useful. So the link to the worksheets is in the chat. You know what to do. Find your name, open your worksheet, and take notes.
Hello and welcome to the Teachers Room, the show that's by teachers for teachers.
That's right.
I'm
Dan.
Sian. This episode's topic is...
Drilling is repetitive oral practice of a particular target structure.
What does that mean?
Banana.
Ah, banana.
See? It focuses on accuracy and provides a model for students.
Exactly. Problem is, it can be a bit boring and repetitive, so let's look at some ways to liven up drilling.
So the basic drill is a choral drill. The teacher says something and the students repeat it.
Or you could do an individual drill, so the teacher says and one individual repeats.
BBC Learning English rocks.
BBC Learning English rocks.
BBC Learning English rocks.
BBC Learning English rocks. Why not mix things up by varying the voice? You can do...
Loud.
Whisper.
High voice.
Low voice.
Or mumbling. Remember that drilling can sometimes feel a little bit silly, so a bit of laughter is good.
Yeah, stops
Embrace
people feeling
it.
embarrassed.
Exactly. BBC Learning English rocks.
BBC Learning English rocks.
BBC Learning English rocks.
BBC Learning English rocks.
Substitution drills are really good for practicing different types of vocabulary.
So the teacher supplies the original sentence and then suggests replacement words each time.
Sean is so cool.
Sian is so cool.
Dan.
Dan is so cool.
Tim.
Tim is so cool.
Jim.
Jim is so cool.
Okay.
Transformation drills are
Let's
really
stop
good for
here.
practicing
So to
grammar.
give you just 30 seconds to take notes if you haven't yet. Okay, let's go on.
Transformation drills are really good for practicing grammar.
Exactly, you can change the tense, the first person, third person.
Affirmative, negative.
Yes.
I like Sean and Dan.
I like Sean and Dan.
Negative.
I don't like Sean and Dan.
Past tense.
I liked Sean and Dan.
Future tense.
I'm gonna like Sean and Dan forever.
Present continuous tense.
I'm liking.
Wrong.
You said it.
With longer sentences, try back chaining. It's really good for connected speech and it adds an interesting twist to drilling.
Exactly. So start at the end of the sentence and gradually work back.
Mario.
Mario.
Seen Mario.
Seen Mario.
Has ever seen Mario.
Has ever seen Mario.
No one has ever seen Mario.
No one has ever seen Mario.
Okay, and actually that's it. So that was the last technique from this video. Now you will work with your partner just for 2 minutes. Please tell each other which techniques you noted down, and also tell your partner if you have ever used this technique and if you would like to use it in your lessons. Okay, you can join. Just only 2 minutes, really, really quickly. Lisa, you join. So your partners are waiting for you. Okay. So let it be Sofia Zubareva. What about you and your partner, Marta? So have you and Marta tried any of these techniques? And would you like to try any of them?
Some of them we have already tried. We also will discuss it, for example, for level B2, not all of the techniques are really good, but maybe for steps, it's really great idea to try all of them.
Okay, and if we're talking about teenagers, so what do you, it's the question for everybody. So what do you think, which techniques can work? You can use the chat, or you can say, yeah, Bogdana, you wanted to say.
I think maybe that's transformations will be good for teenagers, yeah, for notes. Like, for example, something like back changing, it will be something weird for them. I don't know how would they react for it.
You can try. So
yeah.
Anyway, you can. Guys, but be ready that if the students are not used to drilling, it might be a little bit weird if you just start, but it will get better. So I promise. And so I have tried actually all of these techniques with young learners, with teenagers, and with adults as well. So a lot of teachers say that like it's really strange to drill with adults. That's fine. So that's okay. You can try. You might be pleasantly surprised. And so when I was listening to you, I could hear that back chaining is like the most popular technique. Yeah, so it's really fun and interesting, but make sure you prepare the sentences in advance because it's very difficult to do on the spot. Just note down a couple of them. And don't forget about language grading because the level of the sentence shouldn't be, it can be a little bit higher than the level of your students, but not like B2 for 3A1 students because they won't be able to repeat it correctly. Fine. Now let's, you mentioned also transformation drill. This one is called for grammar and very often it's used for positive and negative sentences or positive sentences and questions. Like I give you a positive sentence, you make it negative. And it can be even really fun if you just tell your students positive sentences like I always do my self-study, and they have to say I never do myself, or I don't do my self-study. And so on. So let's practice then drilling. I can see that you like the topic. Now you will get one more link to the chat. Please open it. So when you are with your partner, ask one person in your room to share the screen. And you will open like the cards one by one, and you will see the task here. So please complete these tasks one by one in your room. So one task for the first person, the second task for the second person, etc. And please don't just explain it to others, but do it. So drill in your room. So for example, here it says you need to use this technique. So you need to use back chaining, and you've got two sentences for which you will need to use this technique. So Darina, can we just give an example of how you will do it? How will you drill using back chaining like the first sentence?
Yeah, so laundry. Repeat that to me.
Laundry.
The laundry.
The laundry. Okay. Yeah. So and so on. Good. Now you can join in. And let's have 4 minutes, like not so many tasks are there. Hello, is your internet connection better now?
Yes, I think so. There is no problem with Wi-Fi. I think there are problems with Zoom because I was just like in the connection to the room for 2 minutes and it didn't work anyway. And then I couldn't join even Zoom, but I had Wi-Fi, so maybe a problem in Zoom or in the app, especially in my phone.
Yeah, it might be. So I will send you to a room. Please try to join. Okay. So you had, oh, you're smiling. That's nice. So drilling was fun, I can see. Okay, there was one name which was not mentioned in the video, that's voice shift. There was another name for it in the video. So it means when we use different voices, like we're asking our students to repeat something very loudly, very quietly, like a robot, like a cat, slowly, quickly. Okay, so then Marta, so which task was the most difficult for you and your partners, or maybe there was a task which you did not really understand?
Well, all of the tasks were quite okay. Like we managed to drill, well, 4 possible variations. And okay, nothing comes to mind actually.
Okay, so that's nice. Anna, did you and your partners use a highlighting in your room? So did you manage to use annotation on your screen?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
So did you and your partners use the highlighting technique, like when you highlight, draw something like to show some pronunciation features?
No, we didn't. We didn't. Just it was my task and I didn't have enough time, so we just focused on it.
Okay. Okay, so guys who teach step, I guess 17, 18, so there is a word whistle, so use highlighting with this word because I will mispronounce it. It's really helpful. So I guess it's the example from the task also. Good. So once again, which 3 things we need to cover when we check our students' understanding when we work with systems, grammar, vocabulary, function? What 3 things do our students need to know? Okay, so use the chat or say or raise your hand. So 3 things which our students need to know: a grammar structure, a vocabulary item, or a functional language structure.
Pronunciation, the formula, how do we make it? Yeah.
And pronunciation, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Vadim, thank you. And one more, which one was, okay, I will give you a hint. So the abbreviation is MFP. So what is M?
Meaning?
What is F?
Form?
What is P?
Pronunciation.
So what do you think when we check our, when we have this checking understanding stage, can we start with the form? Not with the meaning, but with the form. of grammar.
Mhm.
So meaning always comes first. So meaning, that's why it is MFP, because in this order. For vocabulary, we can change the order a bit. For vocabulary, it can be MFP or MPF. That's also fine. Doesn't and so it depends, but it doesn't actually matter. So both are correct. Fine, and let's practice with you. So I'm sorry, I'll keep you like just 5 minutes longer. That's a big progress. But I want us to practice all what we discussed with you. So you will need your worksheets again, and it will be the last task here. We will have 4 breakout rooms. So depending on the number of your breakout room, you will find your task. You will need to prepare the checking understanding stage for grammar only. So here you will have vocabulary and grammar. So you take only grammar, and you need to work on all aspects. So prepare with your partners, think how you will work on the meaning of this grammar structure. So what will be your context? What will be your modal sentence? So prepare this modal sentence. Prepare some CCQs, 2, 3 will be fine. So think how you will work on form, and also which which drilling techniques you will use to drill the pronunciation. So to complete this task, you'll have 7 minutes. So guys, do you need to talk about vocabulary or only grammar?
Only grammar.
Only grammar.
Okay, so do you need to think how you can do it, or do you need to actually prepare your modal sentences and your CCQs and like the whole stage?
Prepare.
Because we will ask you to demonstrate that, so please be ready. Now, join. I have just 7 minutes for that. Okay. So which team is ready to do it for us all? So team number 2, are you ready to do it with us or to us? So please, your grammar to us.
Yeah, why not? So our grammar was present perfect and yet and already. So we actually created a situation, and maybe I can send it to you in the chat.
Or you can send it to the chat to everybody, or if you have it noted down, like anywhere, you can share your screen, you can use Zoom boards or anything. But try to like have this stage, like a small demo. Let's imagine that we're your students.
Okay. Then I'd better use Jamboard.
Oh, anything you need. You can share your screen.
Okay, so I don't think we have enough time, so I will really quick. Let's imagine the situation. Your friend comes to you and says, let's go and see Mocha in the cinema. And you say, I've already seen this cartoon and I haven't done my homework yet. So this is our situation. And now let's pay attention to the second, to your answer. And here we have 2 cases of using present perfect. And here are our questions to the students. So let's begin with this one. Are we talking about past or present?
Past, of course.
Yeah, and with this one, are we talking about past or present?
Also past.
Yeah, so actually, and do we emphasize the results in present in this one?
Maybe, yes.
Yeah, actually, we are emphasizing the results in present. So we saw the cartoon in past, and we didn't do the homework in past. For example, yesterday. And here we have the result. Right now, our work is, well, it's not good to use passive here, so still. So we haven't done our homework yet, and we've already seen this cartoon. And let's pay attention to the form of the verb. Is it form 1, 2, or 3?
3, the third one.
And over here?
Also.
Yeah, also 3. And now I will ask you to build a negative with this one.
Okay, so let's stop here. So actually, I really like the idea. So the context is very nice. If you have also more time, so you can use a picture of Marco, also add it to the board, or you can start with asking your students, like, did you, so you can say, I watched this cartoon, but would you like to watch it, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so then your model sentences are wonderful. So I really like them. CCQ is nice, but think about language grading more. I'm not sure students will understand what's emphasized on the results is. So we can ask, like, do we know the time when it happened? Is it, what is more important, the time when it happened, or like the result or the situation in the present, blah, blah, blah. But if you have more time, you'll be able to do it perfectly well. Nice. And speaking about the form, yeah, it's nice to elicit that we use have and the third form. Good. So then room number 3. Can you try to do something like that?
Yeah, I share my screen. We have some ideas. So we have grammar checking understanding. And at first, we can show the slide with the pictures and ask which one are you at school? Yeah, then students answer, and the teacher needs to elicit the adjectives, so hardworking and lazy. Then teacher can ask students to make a sentence. For example, like, I'm lazy at school. And ask, what about your friend? Is he lazy at school? Told, yes, my friend, or no, my friend is not lazy at school. And ask to compare. So I am lazier than my friend.
Okay, it's a good idea, but it would be difficult to guess because you don't know if their friends are lazy or not.
Yeah, it's difficult. Or just to ask each student about it and like ask to compare, for example, Marta is lazy at school and I don't know, Oleg is hardworking at school. So Marta is lazier than Oleg or something like that.
And that will be your modal sentence, yeah?
Yeah.
With this comparative. And then, so you will work on form. Okay, that's so the first part is really nice, like asking who are you at school, like which picture is about you. So that would be, it can take a bit long if you elicit it from like all students trying to guess. So just to have this setting. So we can just talk about the pictures as well, or we can write names for them like Max and Marco. Like, and we can ask our students. So we can ask the question basically, who is lazier? The first or the second one, or who is more hardworking? The first. So we can make a question with the target language, and it will be the modal sentence as well. Yeah, but the setting is really, really nice. Thank you. And room number 1. So what's your idea?
Okay, I tried to demonstrate. We did it very quickly in a short time. Okay.
Oh, that's just the direction where you'll be moving.
Okay. We prepared both modal verbs, can, can't, and must, mustn't. Okay, guys, can you help me out, please?
So we prepared context. For context, we prepared either pictures or GIFs, and we prepared modal sentences under these pictures, like a picture of somebody jumping or a GIF of somebody jumping, and under this picture, yes, either a question like, can you guys jump, or just a sentence, I can jump. And then I must be quiet in a picture, or a GIF of somebody being quiet. Yes, and then the same with mustn't, and a picture or a GIF of somebody running at school or eating at school, to give visual context, and also a modal sentence so that they can connect those together. And for checking of form, we prepared either we ask the students the words, for example, or no, give them a situation. For example, read at the library, and they have to either say can, must, or mustn't to check whether they understand the concept. Or we use substitute drilling, where we say a part of the sentence, and then they have to basically know in the concept, change another part of the sentence, and we will check whether they understand. And for pronunciation, we use squirrel drilling or variation drilling, just for them to understand how to pronounce the structures.
Okay, so thank you. It's really cool. You had enough time for that. So I really like your idea with GIFs. For the first 2 examples, it's really cool. And to check your students' understanding, to engage them, or you can ask them these questions. Like they see this GIF, and you can ask, can this person jump? And can the elephant jump? And can you jump? Show me. For mustn't, it's possible to choose also another picture so that like the setting is a bit more obvious, like a school or a library, as you said, so that they understand that it's about a rule. Yeah, so for example, you must be quiet, and there is a picture of a library, and then you can ask CCQs like, can you shout like in the library? So, like, is it good or is it bad, and blah blah blah. Just a bit more suitable for the meaning. But the idea is great. So guys, thanks a lot. I'm sorry to keep you long again. But I really liked how you completed the last task, and so you will have more time to do it when you prepare for your lessons. That's a good skill which you can develop. Like choosing the context, modal sentences, making CCQs, also thinking how you can elicit the foreign pronunciation. It's always really important. It all can make our lessons much, much more effective. And the more you practice it, the faster and easier it will become. So thanks a lot for your work today. If you have any questions, you can stay a bit longer and talk to me. If you have no questions, then you can leave the conference. Have a great day. And also don't forget about one more task in your worksheet about the production tasks. I really recommend you to complete it when you have a couple of minutes. So thanks a lot. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Good evening.
Thank you.
Goodbye.